Hello and welcome to Tina and Karen Do the Tube. I am Karen.
This is Tina. What's up?
Oh yeah, we're doing good. Unfortunately, I think we're starting the podcast a little later than usual, so I've already made it through my first drink.
Oh,
Well,
do
we
you
were
need a
have
refill
yeah,
already?
I kinda unfortunately. Luckily, I prepared ahead. I kept everything
Oh.
right here by my side, so I don't need to get up just yet.
What
But
is the drink of choice today, comedy host
well, the
Karen?
the drink of choice is always just coconut water.
Never a little rum in there?
No, 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 no. This is a family friendly channel.
Of course.
You know, we say
As we want to be friendly since we post videos on YouTube.
yeah, exactly. Trying to
Mhm.
make an audience. The best way to make an audience on YouTube is to abide by the censor standards,
Of
and
course, the
we all
advertisers.
yes, exactly. And we can't be promoting alcohol use. We can't be using curse
Mhm.
words like fuck or shit, and we can't be reviewing and reacting to videos that are about sex. Speaking of which,
Especially.
that sets up the video for this week, right, Tina?
Right, the Japanese love industry by one of our favorite channels, Vice.
Yeah, we do Vice videos a lot. I don't know what. There's something about them that's just they have a knack for finding some of the most niche stories out there, which is sort of our bread and butter. We like to react to the 1%, and by 1% I mean the freakiest things in the world.
Yes,
Yeah, so
anything freaky, not normal,
yeah, but I think this,
uncouth.
but Vice for all of its like sort of like kitsch sort of like weird videos, they do tend to get some genuine stories every now and then, and I think this one's not going to be as um, ridiculous as some of the previous ones we've done in the past, such as Hollywood Space Fairy or Human Carpet. Um, we could have
Classic.
done one. We had a Vice video about the kittens of Catgirl Manor, which I don't know. Maybe that's a future video we react to.
Maybe.
Maybe. But this one seems like a much more serious video. I only watched the first minute and then I paused it and say
Really?
this one's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's kind of all just about Japanese, um, sort of like the male female chemistry, dating, sex, everything in that sort of realm of topics in Japan. So, do you know anything about sort of Japanese culture in regards to like male, female, men, women dating, whatnot?
Watched some Japanese porn, but
And that would make you an expert. What sort of
I know
Japanese porn?
what I know. There's not a lot of young people in Japan,
Yeah, it's like one of the
um,
oldest countries in the world.
if not the
I
oldest.
think it is
Yeah,
the oldest, yeah. So they have a big population problem. I think
yeah.
I think one the in the first minute I watched the video, I think we'll get into this, but like it said something like over 50% of women under the age of like 30 are single, have never had a boyfriend, and over like 60% of men under 30 have never had a girlfriend.
Okay,
It's
jeez.
like quite a big
15,
portion.
60.
Yeah, that's quite a big
Yeah.
portion.
What would
So,
you say America's percentage is?
less,
Less.
but
Okay.
but still,
Like significantly less?
no, I think that we're getting up there. I think we're getting to the point where like I feel like a quarter of, I would say, I don't know about women. I feel women do fine, but I feel like I would say it wouldn't surprise me if 40 or 50% of men have never had a relationship with a girl by the time they're 30.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, any expectations before we get right into it, or?
I hope it's a happy video.
I hope it's a fun video. All right, let's react. Okay, that's stereotypical, but all right.
So here in Tokyo, the girls, the nightlife, the clubs, everything is controlled by those guys.
Getting
So
a
they suggested to
tattoo
us.
at the beginning of this video.
He is,
Okay.
and we just see three guys, members of the Yakuza, just standing right over there. One happened to take his shirt off for no apparent reason.
Gotta show he's a member.
It's great.
From what I understand, the Yakuza are like one of the more well-respected gangs in the world.
Jesus Christ, I hope not.
I think so. They're like kind of considered like just a general part of the society. Not like the mafia.
Isn't the mafia kind of like that way though? It's like we're talking about
They're more like
organized crime.
yeah, they're more like integrated, but I don't know if maybe the Yakuza are kind of like less crime-y than others.
No, they're stacks of shit. No, I'm serious.
What do you know?
Well, what I know is that there's a really horrifying video. I'm not gonna remember her name, but you should look into it if you can. But it's gonna make you really depressed.
Okay.
But there's this like well-known story in Japan, and I can't remember the name. It starts with a J, but a girl basically rejected a boy who was a member of the Yakuza, and rather than like dealing with it like most young men would, just move on, they kidnapped her, tortured her for 2 or 3 months, and then finally killed her.
Jesus.
And they did
Christ.
everything imaginable you could do to someone to really horrifyingly torture someone.
Okay, forget what I said. They're
Yeah.
pieces of shit.
and I watched a video about it, and it went into really gruesome detail in about everything they did to her, and it's just.
How long ago did this happen?
I think it was in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the only kind of experience I have with the Yakuza. Not that I have. It was a video explaining this very. I can only describe as like the pits of human evil. Like if you think like evil doesn't exist, I would send you this video and say like, "Hey, watch this and tell me you don't think evil exists," because there are some sick people out there. Anyways, I don't want to get down too much of a downer because we said we want to be a happy video, right?
Yes.
But we're starting off with the Yakuza, so
I know.
it's gonna
great start.
It's gonna bother me if I can't remember her name. So I'm gonna try to look it up here while we react to it a little bit more.
Okay.
Just because I want audience members to go search her and learn her story. But anyways, let's continue.
Us that maybe we need to prove ourselves to them in order to get to hang out and to get that access. So here we are with a little bit of male bonding, Yakuza style.
Junko Furuta.
Junko?
Junko Furuta. Yeah. So maybe I'll send you a video other time. Maybe we won't react to it because it has no fun. There's no entertainment value to it. It's just sort of shocking and horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting story, though. I mean, like to kind of like transition this into a broader Japanese culture. Which, if you were alive during World War II, which would you rather be taken prisoner by, the Nazis or the Japanese?
It sounds like the Nazis.
You'd be right.
From what I understand, yeah.
Like I think
unless you were Jewish.
Oh, of course. Yes. But like that's a good point. But yeah, like I think like the rate at which war prisoners in Germany died was like 1 out of every 25 or something versus like 1 out of every 5 in Japan.
1 out of every 5.
Pretty
wow.
much. They basically did not treat you well and then hoped you died.
Yeah.
So much so that even the Nazis were like, Jesus, man, come on.
Didn't they do a movie about some POWs in Japan during World War II?
Oh, I don't know. There's probably a movie about everything, so I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
but I don't know
not
about
too long ago.
All right. The Rape of Nanking. That's another one. I'm sorry. I don't want this to be all shitting on Japan, but like Japan's pretty fucked up.
Was.
I
think it's a lot more tame now, a lot more Americanized.
Oh, definitely. But it's like that's because it got bombs dropped on it. You bombed all the masculinity out of the country.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
yeah.
trust me, their men look better than 90% of our women. You know I'm right.
It wasn't too long ago that Japan was a rising power on the international stage. Now it has the steepest population decline in the world, and you wonder, well, why is that happening? It's because people aren't spending any time together, they're not getting married, and they're not having babies.
According to government surveys, nearly 50% of Japanese women aged 18 to 34 are single.
Oh.
And more than 60% of men the same age are single as well.
Okay, so that's the statistic I heard earlier, but now I guess clarifying. It's not that they've never been in a relationship, but like
They're currently single.
They're currently single, and then it goes up to 34, which is kind of shocking still, because you'd expect most people to get married off, if they are going to get married, by like 30.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about it's a worldwide issue in developed countries where, people are getting married later and having children later.
Except for Israel.
Except for Israel, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Israel is the only developed country in the world that has birth rates above replacement levels. Unless you count Georgia as developed, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying Georgia the state. I'm saying Georgia the country. Okay. I don't know if you were doing like sort of an Alabama joke there, because it doesn't apply to Georgia. Georgia's more,
yes.
Georgia's more the Savannah plantation. Kind
Less incesty.
Less incesty.
Well, I don't know, actually.
Got to keep the bloodline pure. I don't know either, but like they like House of Dragon, I'm sure. Can you imagine like if someone from Alabama was watching Game of Thrones, and then the first episode, how the first episode ends? With Jaime and Cersei.
Oh, yeah. The window.
And they're like thinking like, wait, what's the controversy? What?
Huh?
They're like,
This is
huh?
normal.
Wait, and then the whole rest of the whole first season is about trying to hide that secret, and they're just scratching their head, just like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Alabama incest jokes. There'll be 3 more before the end of the show.
Okay, they're counting them all.
でも少ない方さん結婚してる方いないいない
No.
余裕がない。
Part of the equation is definitely changing gender roles, which has created a new generation of economically empowered women who no longer want to be tied down to housework or childcare.
邪魔にはなるっていうことは分かる。すごく分かります。そうでしょ。
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Should they say that they don't have time, it seems like, because they're all working?
Yeah, it seems like what did the first woman say? Something along the lines of like family would get in the way of my goals or my life or something. It's like the way we've, and I speak to Japan and the United States and all countries in the first world, the way we treat family as like it's a secondary thing about life, and working is your first thing about life, I find very sad.
Yeah.
I would say that the epitome of a full life lived is having kids and raising them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's how we're all here. Someone fucked and raised us. What? It is.
Yeah, I know.
Would you say that sex and or let's say, okay, so sex and family, are those more a part of the human experience than being a career, your career, or is it all one and the same?
As far as importance, sex and family is more important than career.
Sure. Like, which would you say is like more part of a human experience? If someone didn't have one or the other, which one would be more tragic life lived?
I mean, career does seem important because, I guess we all had our little role and when we were a bit more tribal, right?
Okay.
Well,
we're still tribal.
It's important
I would say.
yeah, very much so. Seems like having a career is an important part of being a tribe.
Wouldn't you say reproduction's a big important part of the tribe too?
It is. It just seems like it should be something that comes naturally, though, right? Like,
well, if it comes naturally, there you go. Isn't that it? Like, it comes more naturally.
Yeah, it's like you.
So it's more
it
human.
Seem like you'd have to raise it. It's a question of why we're not having sex and getting together.
I just think it's a lot of reasons.
I'm sure there
primary.
are. Just,
oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons. It's just I don't know. I guess in current economic environments, maybe it just doesn't seem feasible to have kids. Maybe
That's a big part of it. It's like I've always heard like in the developing world, children are an asset because they're extra labor force, and in the developed world, they're an expense because, well, you got to take care of them for 18 years, and you can't really gain anything from them economically. And even when they hit working age, and we live in systems that have a social security system, like a retirement system for the elderly, that it's not expected for the kids to take care of. Like in the developing world, it's like, yeah, it's the exact opposite. It's like, first off, you have kids and they're labor force. They're your labor right away. And then when you get old, they take care of you. We have a different kind of system.
Yeah, whereas kids almost seem like a burden. Like most people will say having kids in the U.S. is a lot of hard work. Although in the end, most people will say it was worth it. But I mean, and then now I'm thinking like in Japan with such a little population where they have so many jobs that need to be filled. With so little people, it seems interesting that there's not a lot of extra. What am I trying to get at? There's not a lot of wiggle room not to have a job.
Right. Do you think like there's any like causality between Japan's declining or aging population and the fact that they're like leading the world in automation?
Oh yeah. There's a definite connection there. That's why they're leading in automation and AI is because they need somehow to fill all those extra jobs that to keep their economy going.
Do you think if like they were more immigrant friendly like the United States, they wouldn't automate?
That's a good point.
Because like we are like basically we're lagging behind a lot of other countries in terms of like certain kind of technology. I would say drone technology. We're behind even like Brazil. I've seen Brazil is using drones in like agriculture at more rates than even the United States. But the reason for that is we have such access to cheap labor. Like there's tons and tons of immigrants looking to work.
Yeah.
But think about that. Brazil is using drones in their agriculture more than the United States.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, I heard that at the weed conference like that I went to last week. Or is it 2 weeks ago now? I don't know. Fuck it.
Or is it part of it too because they're trying to get it hard to access places, or is this just in farming in general?
Well, the drones are fucking pretty impressive. They like can do the workforce of like, I don't know, a crew of like, if you had a crew of about like, let's say like 4 or 5 guys and takes them 8 hours, the drone can do it in about 30 minutes. So a crew of 4 or 5 people, full day's worth of work. Drone can do about the same level of work in about 30 minutes to an hour with one person as a standby technician. Because really it's all automated. They don't do anything. They basically have a controller in hand and say something really goes crazy, but the drone knows what it's doing.
That's crazy.
It's insane, right? I know. Yeah. Would you think like the scary part is like I talked with a friend about this recently. Like let's talk about all the future different worlds, like the future dystopias. Which one's the most plausible? Which would you say? Of all the future dystopian movies you've seen, which one do you think is the most plausible?
Future dystopian movies. Idiocracy.
Idiocracy? Okay, that's a pretty good one. I think that's an upgrade because I would totally vote for President Camacho.
Okay, you'd rather have Idiocracy than...
Yes, I would totally have fucking Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Camacho. And I will write him in my in 2024. I'll write him in if Kanye's not running, of course.
Of course, yes.
Naturally.
What was your pick for?
I was thinking Wall-E.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, we're all gonna be kept entertained, fed, and fat and lazy.
Yeah, it's the Brave New World.
Oh yeah.
Version.
Except Brave New World still has people doing stuff. It seems worse almost.
I guess that would be. Wall-E's an even darker version.
Like Brave New World, people still fuck.
That's true.
They do it
still
too
savages.
much. Yes, exactly. But.
Others blame the men, a generation obsessed with virtual reality and so intimidated by real women that they prefer cyber girlfriends over real relationships.
That's such a thing, is it? Is that really? Oh, okay.
I like how he has it on his DS.
Yeah, this video's old. Okay, so just so we're this video is about 10 years old. So we're reacting to
it'd be on his smartphone now, or something.
He probably had a smartphone, but it's cooler to have a DS.
Yes.
なんかこう実際手に余るそのおもちゃとかグッズとか
Yu-Gi-Oh!
カードとか買ってる方が好きなのね。コミュニケーション取りづらい人たちが来てる話じゃないですかね。
お金で解決するとか。
Now, these are all interesting theories, but there's another one evident on the streets of Yakuza-controlled Tokyo.
Uh-oh.
In a country that commodifies everything, sex sells.
Wait. Let's go back. Let's go back. Oh, wow. Like, I took a nice place to pause, but let's go back.
In a country.
Is that a Barbie riding a dildo?
Yes.
It's essentially what that is.
Face in the background that's staring at us.
God. Oh, geez. I have so many lumps. That seems like a good place to
Time to
stop
blast
for.
up?
Yeah, that's. I need to refill my drink again. Sorry. So.
Okay.
And I'm back. Got more coconut water.
There you go. What kind of coconut water?
LaCroix. LaCroix.
Oh, LaCroix?
Is it Croix? I don't speak French. Fuck it. It's LaCroix.
There you go, LaCroix.
LaCroix.
LA Crocs.
Yeah, LA Crocs. Oh, man. Okay, so what are your thoughts about this? I mean, so they're talking about Japanese, like the fact that Yakuza run. Is it Yakuza or Yakuza?
I think it's Yakuza.
Well, I'm gonna say
I'm
Yakuza
not-
just to disrespect them.
I guess when you're using Japanese, it's a very abdominal, guttural language. So like Yakuza.
Yeah, I've impersonated it pretty good. It's one of the more difficult accents to try to mock. It's nowhere near as easy as Alabama. Like, I fucked my sister, number 2. All right.
And she liked it.
Yeah. All right, but so we're gonna getting we're gonna exit out at some point and restart the meeting, but let's keep going. Yeah.
Country that commodifies everything, sex sells, and the Japanese are buying.
All right.
So it's too capitalistic, is what they're saying. Everything's a commodity, including sex.
Sex sells, yeah.
Well, that's kind of the problem here, isn't it?
Sex does sell here too.
Yeah, but they're not even selling us good sex.
Yeah, no, it's just OnlyFans.
Well, I wasn't even going to say that. I was just like, what's considered what would be like a beauty standard here in the United States compared to Japan? I think Japan, actually gets beauty standards right.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the women are very feminine looking.
Yeah, I think in China at least
Tifa.
they know. Yes, they know where
No,
you're going.
I'm going with this. If you look at an American-made game, the women are butch. If you look at a Japanese-made game, the women are like Tifa. Sorry, it's true.
Is that why they had to tone it down for American audiences with the newest?
No, I don't. I know it pissed off a lot of I guess hardcore Uber fans or whatever you'd want to say, but it never bothered me. She's still very, very blessed in that region.
Sure.
And it's just not. It's just more realistic at the same time. But she's not like. But they don't like. They don't come. She's. I don't understand. So yeah, she's not a polygon with ridiculously sized breast in in the new remake, but she still would be a sex symbol if she was a real person.
Sure. Okay.
So
it's more of a compromise between both cultures then.
Yeah, I wonder if Tifa's going to come up in this video. Did you ever hear about the Italian Senate thing?
No.
Oh, dude, you gotta look this up if you have the chance. Maybe we'll look it up now. So, in a Zoom meeting for the Italian Senate during the pandemic, I don't know if it's a Senate. It's just the Italian version of it. Whatever.
Government.
Yeah, exactly. Someone basically hacked the system and played a porn video with Tifa.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you were to just type in Tifa in Italy, you'll see tons and tons of memes and tons of posts about it.
They love Tifa in Italy.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, someone did. And they basically just somehow they hacked into the government servers and actually uploaded a porn video in the middle of a congressional meeting about something.
I love it.
And you just see Tifa getting railed on for 2 minutes. I can't believe you didn't hear about that. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay. I think it's an interesting juxtaposition because in China, just across the water, their PD standards are a little bit different, right?
Yeah, but they hate Japan, so they probably just choose like what Japan would find ugly just to spite them.
Because with them, it's more like complexion and I
Yeah.
don't know.
So Japanese culture, from what I understand, they're the most receptive to Americans,
Sure.
which might be
I
one of
think
the reasons why they're like dating like. Well, I don't know about that. South Korean women probably also very receptive to Americans.
Yeah,
but-
both very pro or friends of America.
Yeah, but I've always heard this stereotype that Asian men hate American men or Western men in general because of this whole
American
problem.
men are
Because the Japanese women or the Korean women want to date American men, and it's the and if you look at statistics for interracial coupling, the most common interracial couple is a white man with an Asian woman. It also happens to be the couple with the lowest divorce rate.
Really.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean, white men largest demographic in the U.S. and there's a lot of Asian women.
Yeah. Like Asian, or are we
Interesting.
talking like
Well-
American Asian?
Both. I don't know. I was coupling them together.
Would you ever go to Thailand?
Yeah.
Why?
For the lady boys.
You could have gone so many ways with that, but you went with ladyboys, so thank you.
Why do you think China's different though? Why is it so different? Why is it because it's less Americanized over there?
Well, it's probably because they hate America, like culturally speaking.
Or is it like the average Chinese person is more, I don't know.
I've met a lot of Chinese women, but they were very Americanized. So I just,
Sure.
at least in my college, there were a lot of Chinese girls, but they were very Americanized. So it's hard for me to say that the average Chinese woman wasn't receptive to Americans.
Mhm.
I don't know. If there was a reason why Chinese women didn't like American men at the same levels as Japanese women or Korean women, I'd only imagine it's because their culture is anti-American. It's like
Okay.
if you like go to North Korea, you're not going to be surprised to find out they don't like us.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But
Okay.
continue on. Beautiful.
Japan has a seemingly endless menu of relationship replacement services, where you can essentially replicate anything you get from a relationship, be it sexual, emotional, or
Now they have
otherwise,
to blur it out.
Okay. That's a problem, isn't
without
it?
actually having a boyfriend or girlfriend. And now Japan is known as the graying nation.
With more people over 65 and less people under 15
There you
than
go.
anywhere else in the world, Japan has the fastest growing negative population on Earth.
Yikes.
By the end of this century, Japan's population is expected to shrink by half.
What will that look like? I like genuinely want to know this because it's something like this is a sort of a preview of where America's going, you know, and just like and once again in general the developed world, but like how do you have like a country that like has all this infrastructure for like that's meant for let's say 100 million people, and then half of it within a century you're now down to 50 million people. I can say one thing: affordable housing will no longer be a problem.
I was gonna say, yeah, Tokyo is like one of the most, if not the most densely populated city in the world.
I think Hong Kong is the
Is it?
Singapore or Hong Kong. Now, the funny thing about Singapore is the cost of housing is high, but no one's homeless. I have no idea why. I think
Maybe not a lot of immigration into Singapore.
I don't know. I don't think immigration causes homelessness. So,
No.
but yeah, I've heard that like Vancouver, British Columbia, is the second most expensive real estate market in the world, behind Hong Kong.
And that's because I think they invited a lot of Hong Kong people over when the British relinquished control over to China back in 1999.
Oh, I love Vancouver. Vancouver is
Yeah.
like it's like Seattle was 10 years ago with a lot more Asian influences at the same time. So it's like
Okay.
yeah. So I think Vancouver's a great city.
I think the Vancouver, British Columbia, or Canada, like had an open invitation for a lot of those Hong Kong people to move over there, and that's why you might see a bit more Asian influence there.
Do you ever? This is kind of a weird question to ask because I don't think you've ever thought about it, but it's still worth asking. Do you ever feel kind of like you're left out when like America's not part of the Commonwealth?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, so all the British colonies, there's a kinship. Canada, India, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Africa. I could go on, but there's like, if you're a part of the British Empire, like, there's a kinship there. They're all part of the Commonwealth. For fuck's sake, you go up into like Canada and you got like the Queen on their fucking like $5 bill or whatever it is. Not anymore. It's gonna be the fucking king now. It's weird, But America never gets lumped in with all the other colonies because we're the only ones who didn't kiss the ring. We fucking fought for freedom.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were the first to successfully... Were we the first to successfully secede from the Empire?
Ireland? I think we would have been, yeah.
Yeah. And well, then we became the biggest country, or one of the most successful countries in the world, so...
Partly because partly because we were allies with the British.
Yes, eventually we became allies with them again.
Yes, but it's just interesting to me that, like, all the other... It's kind of funny, because, like, empires don't usually dissolve because the power basically willingly lets people go free. But that is kind of how the British Empire dissolved. Is everyone kissed the ring and basically paid their homage to the British Empire, and they say, okay, you can be free now.
Well, I think they were smart because they knew that they wouldn't be able to hold it all together.
I heard it. All right, sorry about that little intermission, but we're cheap.
Yes.
And we haven't found a better alternative to Zoom just yet because we're lazy. So we're cheap and lazy. Give us money, and we'll be less cheap and less lazy.
Cheap guys, Tina and Karen.
Cheap guys, Tina and Karen. Yeah. We were talking about the British Empire, and like I heard some reports that like the British Empire dissolved because it cost them too much money. Funny enough, like it cost more to keep it going than it would have been to just like extract all the resources from all the colonies. I don't know.
They had to have a presence or some sort of force in each of their.
Well, like I said, I was lazy, so I didn't read the whole article, but I think like there's some logic out there behind it. Like the British Empire, they wouldn't just give up all those colonies if they were profitable for them. Because that is true. Every colony except for the United States was just given independence. And you could take the cynical view of history, or you could take the more sort of idealistic view of history. The idealistic view would say the British Empire believed in its principles and said, yes, these countries deserve autonomy. Or you could believe the more cynical view that they just realized that the colonies were costing them more than they were making from them. So, I don't know. Yeah. That'd be a good topic to go over in a future stream, but...
Yeah, I mean, if you compare it to maybe the Dutch or the French colonies, I don't think a lot of their former colonies really have any love for, France or Netherlands.
No, I think the British probably governed best. There's a funny joke I've heard, but heaven is the place where your chefs are Italian, your mechanics are German, your lovers are French, and your politicians are British. And hell is the place where your politicians are Italian, your lovers are German, your mechanics are French, and your chefs are British. That's
a great joke.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the English had a reputation for governing well compared to some of the other colonies. And but not being great chefs.
They're kind of in a weird state, though, these days.
Other than fish and chips. Fish and chips is lovely.
The one British import or export they've been able to.
I mean, can you tell me another English dish that you would like? Who?
Beans on toast.
Beans on toast. Oh my God! White bread and beans and that's
Very
so
British
awful.
thing, apparently.
It's so awful. There's no English restaurants. English cuisine. You don't find it. You got
You'll find
Italian,
English
you got
pubs.
they're English pubs, yes, but you got Italian, you got Mexican, you got like Thai, you got Chinese. There's lots of good places that are known for their food, not the fucking British.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Not known for their cuisine.
All right, back to adult diapers. Oh,
The country actually sells more adult diapers than baby diapers.
is that right?
Whoa.
Oh shit,
Wow.
that's crazy
Okay.
to think about.
That is
And the-
insane.
Yeah.
Face of this decaying nation is this guy. He might look like a stripper, but he's not. He's what
He's not a stripper, and he's literally
he's not.
naked. Yeah. Oh my god.
He's a model.
Who is this guy?
the Japanese call a host. And believe it or not, he's one of the reasons why they aren't having babies.
Imagine that. Imagine you had the title of "I'm the reason my country is going extinct."
I am the reason why we're not reproducing.
We're gonna find out more about this guy's story, but imagine that. Imagine like someone told you, "Hey, Tina, you're the reason Americans are no longer having babies."
I would try to, but I would immediately try to reverse that.
What would you do? That's a lot of responsibility to take on.
I would feel like I would have a target on my back.
That's a weird thing to put on one guy. I'm just curious what we're gonna get into from listening.
Yeah, what did he do?
That's
What did he do?
Is he Yakuza?
One of many host clubs in Tokyo where single women come, just like these women right here, and get lavish with the kind of attention that they wouldn't get if they went to just a typical bar.
Instead of taking their chances dating, more and more Japanese women are paying for companionship by coming to places like this. Host clubs charge by the hour, with prices usually in the hundreds of dollars for nothing more than conversation.
Oh my god.
Wow.
You know, this isn't as strange as you might think, because I found a website online that people pay to just talk with others.
Have you tried it out?
Well, I thought it was a good way to make some extra money.
Oh, so you're getting paid.
Yeah, no. It's like it's literally like a website. I found it on a list of like passive income streams, and they said that
Okay.
there's this website out there where people pay in order to have a friend online that they can talk to, and you basically are just getting paid to just go on a Zoom call with people and listen to them talk, and pretend to be their friend, have a conversation with them. Really.
Is this because, we're all working remotely or so much of our attention's on our computers or TVs or phones these days?
I think that's a big part of it. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that our technology isolates us more than it unites us.
Mhm.
I think 50 years ago, if you basically lived in a town, there was no internet. Your only course of action is basically to get to know your neighbor and get to know your community. Now you can go online and you talk with people in forums online, and you find maybe people are more like you, I guess, but they don't feel like friends.
Yeah, there is something about the face-to-face interaction that is a lot different. And I guess they found out, when people still even prefer to use computers, that they can capitalize on people paying for face-to-face interactions through.
Yeah. Where do you see this going? Do you feel like this is going to continue, or is something going to reverse? Are we going to go further are we going to get further and further down the isolation pathway, or are people going to basically realize what's happening and they're going to rejoin the real world?
I mean, there could be something like a huge, what do they call it, sunstorm or something, solar storm that knocks out a lot of the power grid. That could, potentially send us back.
No, one can only hope. All right, pause for a quick second, refill my drink. All right, we got to do more of these podcasts together, Tina. I don't drink enough. Got to stay
It's a
hydrated.
very
Coconut water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm drinking.
Hydrate.
All right, what were we talking about? We're talking about technology isolating us, or do you think that? And we said solar. Oh, sorry. The possibility that there could be a solar flare that wipes out the grid.
Very
Or a solar
very
storm.
possible.
Very possible. And that would
I don't-
that be a good thing?
I don't know. We rely on all these. We rely on all these telecommunication and things to get a lot done.
Well, that's the funny thing. I think what would happen is history would remember it as a time like a dark age. Like we would be wiped out in terms of our communication. Material conditions would go down. But I think we'd be happier. It's crazy to say. So, like, funny enough, at the fall of the Roman Empire, we call what followed that the Dark Ages. But I don't think the Dark Ages were as dark as people really remember. I think the Dark Ages had a lot of growth and a lot of necessary growth, spiritually speaking. That led to sort of the Enlightenment that would happen
You
a long time
don't
ago.
have a Renaissance without a Dark Age, right?
Right. Well, exactly. But like, I think there was flaws in the Roman world, but that's another story.
Okay, so this be like Dark Age number 2.
I think we're ready for a Dark Age
The
number
Darker Age.
2. I don't want to be Darker Age. Okay, whatever. The slightly dim age.
The Twilight Age.
The Twilight Age, starring Edward Cullen.
Oh no, I don't want that.
You don't want that. Did your sister ever read Twilight, or was ever into that sort of
I
stuff?
read the first Twilight.
You
book.
did?
I did.
Oh my God, what'd you think?
Easy read. Read it in like
It's
a
an
night.
easy read. I never read any of the Twilight books. I only saw the first movie, and I hated it. Like, there's no story in the entire fucking movie. It's terrible. Whatever. But that's another that's another podcast, a whole long subject. Yes, but we're talking about women go to clubs just to pay for conversations. Sad.
Do you think men would pay for conversations more than women, or vice versa, or equal? Because in
That's a good
America,
question.
I guess it seems like mostly men that will pay at least to have conversations with very attractive women.
Well, that's the whole thing about OnlyFans, right? Because like anyone can go get porn online. OnlyFans is like a interpersonal. It's a connection with the porn star. It's fucked up, and I don't think it's good. But that's what OnlyFans sells. Is that
that is how they make have some of their money, through just private messages.
Exactly, but that's the upgrade over just regular porn. Like, if I'm just like a horny guy, I can go to Pornhub and just watch a video. But like, I go to OnlyFans because I want a connection with the porn star. I don't know why people want this, but it is a thing.
It seems to be a very profitable thing
for a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad too, because like, you'd have to try to convince women that their virtue is worth holding on to. Sure, you can make a lot of money selling yourself this way. It's just like the avenues and the choices people have nowadays to basically just ruin themselves for the future is just unbelievable. Because would you date someone who had an OnlyFans account? Oh, we talked about this. If I had an OnlyFans account, you would still be my friend.
Of course, yes.
Well, that's good.
Vice versa.
Well, that's good. You know why I asked you that question, right?
Because you're thinking about getting an OnlyFans.
No, I was talking with someone on Megal, and he was dating a girl who had an OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he was not happy about it, but he also wasn't like gonna tell her to stop doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you kind of get into a weird point where you just kind of like, why are you in this relationship if you're not happy?
Yeah, it's kind of like you couldn't find anything else to help, put this in, to make, I guess she's doing OnlyFans because she feels like she needs to make money. I don't know. Maybe it is an artistic choice.
I think it's because it's a lot of money. It's not artistic. You can try to make it out to be artistic, but it's porn.
I'd be interested in talking to OnlyFans models or one of them to see why they got into it.
Dude, I would love to bring on an OnlyFans model to interview for the podcast. That'd be amazing. But we don't know anyone, unfortunately.
Yes.
We got to grow this channel by talking about fucking incest in Alabama. That's the only thing that's going to grow this channel.
Yes.
3. We're trying to appeal to a very certain demographic.
People from Alabama.
People who fuck sisters in Alabama. Not everyone in Alabama
Game
fucks
of Thrones fans.
Not everyone in people whose sister do OnlyFans. Alabama. Jeez, Alabama's taking a beating in this conversation.
They are. It might not even be the worst,
Yeah.
state for that.
Well, you really think so? There's a state more ancestral than Alabama? West Virginia.
True.
Whoa, wait, what were you thinking?
Maybe Florida? I don't know.
Florida?
Just
No.
population-wise?
It's about the rate. It's the per capita rate that matters.
Oh, okay.
Like, because if you just want to do it based on population size, it's always going to be California, Texas, or Florida.
Okay.
But, like, I'm talking about per capita. I'm talking about what can we
Sure.
say is part of your culture, your unique culture. All right. Maybe it's Florida. Fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah.
When women sit down, what do they want from you? Do they want to be loud with attention? Do they just want you to listen? Do they want you to...
I doubt her name is Michelle. Okay. Holy fuck. All right. If you could make $800,000 a year just by talking to girls,
Of course you would do it.
could you?
Could I?
Would your time be worth $800,000 a year?
Just to talk to women? Hell
Yeah, sure. Like, let's say like you got a job like at this kind of nightclub, and they say, "Hey, we're a specific kind of nightclub. Women come here just to have conversations with men." Are you making $800,000 a year with your conversation skills?
Maybe
If not, you got to work on that, buddy. You got to work on that.
That surprises me. I didn't think it'd be that high.
That's a lot of fucking money. Just to be able to talk to women. Can you imagine that the skill of being able to talk to women is at that much of a low? That someone who's just able to talk to women effectively can make close to $1 million.
I could believe it. I've seen
You
a
could
lot of
believe
awkward guys.
Dude, they're like oil drills. There are oil drill technicians and operators who basically don't make like even $200,000. Now they're well paid, sure. That's like a fucking really hard job.
Yeah.
This guy makes
Their life is on the line.
Yes.
This guy's ego is just on the line.
This guy's making 4 or 5 times that just by being able to talk to women. Come on.
Maybe he's good at just talking in general. Maybe he doesn't actually make that much. He's good at selling himself.
You think he talks to a lot of gay guys? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't even think about that, but maybe.
I say gay guys don't want conversation.
That would make
no,
more
no,
sense.
No. Gay guys.
Right?
No, it doesn't. Gay guys don't want conversation. Gay guys can get laid whenever they want. They just go to a bar.
Not in Japan.
Why?
I think it's less culturally accepted there, right?
Is that right? Is that true?
I think so. America, kind of stands out in that realm.
I thought we were like one notch above Iran.
Only one notch?
Yeah, sure, one notch. It goes like
One hijab above Iran.
it goes like San Francisco, America, and Iran,
That's
and then like most of Africa.
No, I think outside
Japan.
of America
So Japan's
and
like
Europe.
really anti-gay. I could
I
believe
don't
it.
think they're very pro-gay. I think a lot of Asia is not pro-gay.
Well, what does it mean to be
Thailand
pro-gay?
might be the exception.
What? Iran?
No, Thailand.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, half their men there are women, so that's not really gay. That's a different thing.
It's just more accepted of the LGBT community.
God, Iranian women are so beautiful.
They are.
Yeah, I know. I understand why they want to cover them up.
Exactly, they want it for themselves.
It would be hard to go about your life knowing that all these women are around you. Like, seriously, like, at least in America, like, 90% of women aren't very attractive, so it's easy to go about your life.
90%?
If I'm being, well, what compared to Iran, yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Sure.
I don't know what percentage of American women are attractive. I wouldn't know. It's hard.
Okay.
How do you
That's a
measure?
tough question.
How do you measure something like that? Like, I'm certain, like, if you go to a college town, probably a good portion, 30-50% of them are attractive. If you just go to a regular city in America, like, okay, it depends. Like, you go to Miami or, like,
Sure.
Los Angeles, it's probably
Yeah.
pretty high. You go to Seattle? No.
Not as much?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. Okay.
Would you say that the average Seattle woman looks like a woman from Miami or even Los Angeles or something?
I almost think the average Seattle woman isn't from Seattle.
Okay. But I'm just saying that there are certain cultures that are certain cities that are known for their maybe looks. Let's just say.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Not
Definitely.
Detroit. It's not Detroit. 800,000.
Just sit here and listen to women talk to you.
Normal for him, maybe, but it's a pretty weird place to be hanging out. There's lots of flirting, and the girls seem to be enjoying themselves, but nobody is getting laid here. And the craziest part is that no one seems to mind. I'm not talking about cougars or misfits either. These are attractive single women, mostly in their 20s and 30s, just like club regular Maya.
You're single.
Yes.
And are you like actively looking for a boyfriend, or you don't want a boyfriend, or what's your deal?
欲しくない。
She doesn't want a boyfriend. Why?
Why not?
Uh-huh.
今、仲いい人はこの人しかいない。で、
Is that Naoki? Is that what his name is?
I guess so.
Yeah.
友達っていうか知ってる人と飲んでる。
Right.
そんなに like 子供と結婚するのはすごいインポータント。like 本当に欲しいもの。ない。
束縛が嫌。とか見てるとずっと一緒にいたりとか、まあ。
Couples in the foreign films stay together forever. What was that? I watched.
Well, yeah, I watched Stay Together Forever.
Now I imagine like when she says foreign, she means American. Or maybe she's really into
Yeah.
Bollywood.
Maybe.
Which,
Yeah,
by the way, we have
arranged
to.
marriages.
Which, by the way, we have to watch a movie together.
Oh no, you have one?
Have you heard of RRR?
No.
It's a fucking Indian movie, and it's fucking amazing.
Okay.
It is like the best movie ever made.
Okay. I
Oh,
heard of a good Indian movie coming out recently. I
yeah,
forget what it's called though.
sure.
Very actiony and like over the top.
But maybe one of these days we can actually do a podcast. We can just watch RRR together in the stream. Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Okay, that's a different idea. I'm down.
All right. For all of our listeners out there, hit the like button and subscribe, and we will watch RRR. And I know our audience knows what that is. Because
I
it's
know
great.
what that is now.
It's awesome. I think it stands for like Rage, Roar, Revolt.
Ooh,
Yeah.
my 3 favorite things.
I love being angry.
見てるとずっと一緒にいたりとか、まあ、日本人は結婚して子供ができて子供が大きくなったら心はそのうちなくなるし。
Okay,
What
so
does that mean?
no, it means
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what
it
you're saying.
means that like our movies promote this idea of like they promote a false idea of what love really is. It's all roses and chocolates and like positive energy and all this sort of great stuff. There's never any hardship, which is not how love goes. As
Well,
anyone who's
it's
been in
how-
a relationship knows, it can be a struggle, but it's worth it. But it's a struggle sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I was gathering, what she was saying though, it seems like they're like once the chickens have left the nest, then the couples are like kind of no longer meant to be together.
But what she's really saying is though is the romance dies. It's not
Yeah.
like she's not saying the love dies. She's saying the romance dies.
And that's what she needs.
Yeah, I know, but that's really a big thing. Is I think that is Western media. That is like promoting the idea of like, because when you watch a romantic movie in America, it's showing the romance part of a relationship. It's showing like they fall in love. They don't really show the aftermath, where they basically are just like, paying bills and just living out their lives.
Yeah, the most boring part.
Well, yeah, exactly, because it's not exciting. But like that's like 90% of what a relationship is basically living life together.
Yeah, same with like raising kids.
Exactly. But like movies are way more romanticized. Good
Of course,
choice of words,
I mean they have to tell a story, and you can't tell a story out of paying bills and feeding children.
You know who did tell a good story? George R.R. Martin, House of Dragon.
Just your normal everyday, royal family drama.
It's a relatable story. We all know what it's like to fuck our uncle and take over the Seven Kingdoms.
Rule Western Washington together.
I was thinking for next week, and we should probably bring Jose back on so we can talk about some like pop culture things.
You said his channel's popped off.
Yeah, he's actually getting pretty good views. We can ride his coattails.
Yes.
Yeah, he's actually getting thousands of views per video now.
Okay.
So we can just interview him, get his like opinion on some pop culture things, some Marvel things, some Rings of Power things, some House of Dragon things. I know he likes House of Dragon. I don't think he likes Rings of Power.
Okay, that's the general consensus.
Yeah. Would you be up for bringing him on for the podcast next week?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. All right, I just want to get your go ahead for that because I want to do it too. So.
All right, folks, you already know.
And women
next week
aren't the only ones disillusioned with love in Japan. In Tokyo, there are more than 200 hostess clubs for men, where a few $100 can get you all the female attention you could ever want.
Oh, wow.
What are you expected to do for that hour with the guy who comes down and pops down a bit of money?
Seems like an overpriced product. You're going to talk to me and you're going to pour me a drink? Okay, I can pour my own drink. And I'm okay talking to his fucking screen. Yeah. So it seems a little.
I can do all this for free.
$800,000? That's what we're really paying for like once again, pour my own drink.
I guess that's how starved we are for real human connection, or the appearance of it.
I know, it's so sad, right? All right.
It is sad, yes.
But the host and hostess bars are just the tip of the iceberg. In Japan today, there's a whole industry of pseudo-romance services to fit every need. If you like anime, you can pay $70 an hour to go on a date with a girl dressed up like your favorite character.
That seems reasonable. 70 an hour? Sure.
Wait, what's the average length of a date?
And like a first date? Probably hour, 2 hours.
2 hours, probably.
Well.
Would you pick Tifa?
Of course.
I don't know. Maybe you probably watch more anime than I do. I don't know. No?
I can name many other anime characters. So.
I've watched anime. I don't watch enough anime, to be honest.
You would like watch it more.
I think Japanese are better at storytelling at this point than Western American media. I think most American media sucks. I think most American media is sequels, reboots, remakes, and
nothing original.
Nothing good. Like the last great show I watched was Death Note.
Okay.
Yeah. And like the last good show I watched was like another Japanese show. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like all about these orphans living in a place that they were being farmed. Like they were like being raised to be eaten, and they're trying to escape. It's a great story. It's like I can't remember what's the name of it. Mary would, sorry, my wife would know. Yeah, but it's a great show. But anyways, I think Japanese are better storytellers right now. Right now, at this point in history, Japanese.
They've certainly taken that upon themselves. Since the 80s, they've been known as like great story makers.
I've kind of always felt that way though, because I've always liked anime. But I don't know if Dragon Ball Z counts. Everyone loved Dragon Ball Z.
You
But-
think because they come from like a rich culture of storytelling and
I just,
myth?
I don't know why it is that American media doesn't match Japanese media. I like to think that it's that like Japanese is a very traditional culture, and so they tell stories that relate to the majority of people, like hero's journey stories, which I think too many American writers are like, that's so cliche, I can't do a hero's journey story because everyone knows the hero's journey. But it's relatable. People like it. They know it. And so
Do you have to have redeemable characters in your shows? I don't think.
Han Solo.
Okay, so like let's go with
Oh.
like it's always sunny. No redeemable characters. Those are some of your favorite shows.
Charlie is somewhat redeemable.
Yeah.
Charlie's-
he could play ignorance basically.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie is the best thing about Charlie is that he's a terrible person because he just doesn't know any better. So
I mean, there's something to be said for that. There's a great Kurt Vonnegut video where he kind of explains like, basically all these stories are about the same, and some of the most unique stories are the ones that kind of don't have that hero's arc curve, and
yeah, but problem is when you try so hard to sort of transcend the hero's journey, then you're basically trying to write a story that doesn't relate to anyone. Like Last Jedi is a good example. The Last Jedi is the guy who wrote Last Jedi. I'm trying to remember his name because I hate Last Jedi. Fuck. Last Jedi might be my second least favorite movie of all time, behind Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Evolution, which is
that's
awful.
the last of the last trilogy.
No, it's the middle one.
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson basically said like the best way to write a story. Well, he didn't say this. Like I'm not paraphrasing it, but like the overall message you get from watching Last Jedi is when you can subvert expectations.
Sure.
That's a good story. But the problem with Last Jedi is they set up so many storylines and then just like fall flat on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Last Jedi sucks. So. Yeah, I mean, like, Last Jedi is, like, literally pisses me off because I'm a big Star Wars fan, and Last Jedi, I feel like, just ruins everything. So...
I mean, part of the hero's journey is subverting expectations, right? But you have to do it in the right way.
Well, no, the hero's journey is a very standard format. Like, it's not... the problem with the hero's journey is it is predictable. But it's predictable for a reason because it relates to so many people.
It seems counterintuitive because wouldn't a not hero's journey be somewhat more relatable to people because most people aren't heroes?
Well, everyone is the hero in their own grand narrative.
That's true.
We're all living like the way we live our lives. We're thinking about it is like we are the hero of our own like story. Right?
Yeah, I mean, all we have is our own inner monologue.
Yeah, sure, but like I've often said like this is why mythology is actually more important than science because mythology is all about like what kind of lessons and values we can learn from stories, where science just tells us facts about things. Mythology in that way is a lot more practical.
Tells us about our human, desires and our human history, basically, and ways science can.
Well, I mean, everyone's living out their own grand mythology. Like they're they have heroes. They're the hero of their own story. They have great villains. They have hero mentors and assistants. And I hate to say it that way, but yeah, that's how everyone sort of lives their life. I feel is that you're all going through your own journey.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the not hero's journey story though be a little bit more truthful then of what real life is like?
Well, who needs that?
Who needs the truth?
No, who needs Ryan Johnson's Last Jedi?
Okay.
It's a garbage story. Fuck the Last Jedi.
Okay.
To this day, I have not seen Rise of Skywalker.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't want to see it because Last Jedi pissed me off that much. It's a garbage story.
Did we watch that together?
Yeah, we did.
We did, yeah.
We went to theaters, and I remember getting out of the theaters and telling you I didn't like it.
Yeah, and I was like, give it some time. I gave it some time. Yeah, it's not.
Dude, it's like 4 years later. It still pisses me off thinking about it.
Jesus.
Well, there's not a lot of movies or stories that really piss me off. Like that one and Dragon Ball Evolution piss me off. But most movies, when they're bad, I just think like, oh, shrug it off. Okay, they're bad. Fuck it. But this one really pissed me off.
Sure, of course. The expectations are subverted.
It ruins. It's not even just about expectations being subverted. It ruins everything that was set up. Okay, look, Force Awakens. Force Awakens is a good movie. It's not very original. It literally is A New Hope reimagined in a new way. So it's not very original, but it's a good movie. And then everything in Last Jedi basically is about like shitting on everything like Force Awakens set up. So, what's the name of the character? Finn. He's the stormtrooper who quits being a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to get into a big rant, but ultimately I just don't like much of it.
Sure.
The only thing about Last Jedi that's worth watching is nothing. I cannot say anything.
I thought the fight scene with Snoke was good.
It's terrible.
It definitely subverted my expectation in that scene.
All right, okay, so shut up with the subvert expectation. All right. I just thought of another video we have to watch for this podcast because it's a long debate about Last Jedi. So add that to the list. Okay.
Sure.
All right. But we're getting way off topic. So let's get back to like women dressing up as anime characters.
Or maybe having sex with dolls is more your thing. Thankfully,
Oh
there's
my
a guy
God.
for that too. And if you just want to take the day off and do some cuddling, well, you're in luck.
I've heard about this.
Cuddle Cafe?
Yeah, it's cuddling. Yeah, you can pay to cuddle.
I just got a real strong pang not wanting to do this.
So,
So we're here at a cuddle cafe in Tokyo. These people have been kind enough to build what looks like a daycare center for toddlers. Grown-ups can lie down and talk to strangers about their feelings.
oh my God.
Do reluctantly, very, very, very reluctantly. I want that on record. Let's see them.
How much do you think of like this is all because Japan is a very like reserved culture where you're not supposed to talk about yourself?
That could be part of it.
Like, why else would like we don't have cuddle cafes in the United States?
Yet.
God, that scared me there.
Let's bring it over. They brought over cat cafes. Bring over cuddle cafes. I mean,
cafes.
I don't know if it will ever be a thing. It could be.
No, fucking 49ers just won.
I feel like if they did, they would need some sort of people in America, men or people in America would take advantage of it.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, which maybe they do in Japan and just don't hear about it. I'm also wondering how much of a thing is this outside of Tokyo in Japan?
That's a good
Maybe
question.
more-
Is it all a Japan-wide thing, or is it just like it's a city thing?
I know, I mean, Tokyo is one of the biggest cities in the world. I'm sure it constitutes a large population percentage of Japan, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Menu of service.
お客様が女の子の頭をイコイコする、まあ
Okay.
でまあ、見つめ合う。で、綿棒とかもあるんで、ちょっと、まあ、見閉じたいと思います。
What the fuck?
Why?
What?
so you're wondering the same.
I gotta go back to that. Sorry.
ちょっと見閉じたいと思います。
Why?
He genuinely doesn't understand.
Yeah, he is very.
That's a bizarre thing to want from someone, right?
In your cuddle cafe, yeah.
I really would like someone to clean my ears.
I mean, it's easier to have another person clean yours than clean your own, right?
If you go into a restaurant and they say for $5 extra, we'll have our waitress come over and clean your ears. Do you take it?
For $5 extra?
Sure.
I could do it for $5 extra.
Jesus Christ. Come on, Tina. No.
I feel like that's a low amount of money, though. I think most people would be.
Why would you pay
charge-
anyone to clean your ears? Why is that a thing? I just don't think that's I just don't think that's a thing that I care about paying someone to
I
do.
would pay someone to brush my teeth if it was cheap enough.
What?
Maybe
You can't be serious.
not. It would feel awkward. It's just
That-
the angle.
Oh yeah, and it wouldn't feel awkward. Someone cleaning your ears for you with a
I've
cue.
had someone clean my ear. My sister. It wasn't
Really?
that awkward. Yeah.
Hmm.
She didn't do a great job.
All right. I got my coconut water. And Alabama incest. Number 4.
That
Not,
was the weakest
not a
one.
great joke. Yeah. At this point, who cares?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got a 4.
Yeah, I got the 4.
You would have a field day.
I said it 4 times.
Come on in. Hello.
Oh.
Great. Hi. So I think I just want to get a little bit of everything, like an appetizer platter. Yeah. So how does that work then? Oh, very nice. This looks very comfortable. Thank you. You have regulars?
She looks so young.
It is like a little
独身の人が多いと思いまして意外と若い人が多いです
Oh, really? What about you? You got a boyfriend?
いるわけないじゃないですか
Of course not. What the?
Why, of course.
めんどくさいから
You have a
Jesus,
long
what the hell is
boyfriend?
wrong with this culture? Like, they're so against being with others.
It seemed like, yeah, it's just too much of a problem.
Do you think
Too
it's
much
like
responsibility?
But do you realize how weird it is? Like, they have all these different things, like a nightclub where you can have conversations with people, a cafe where you can cuddle with people, and yet they all have this attitude of like, of course I'm not with someone because that's terrible. They're literally paying to replace a boyfriend
One's
girlfriend.
free. Or could be free. Could be free.
Well, it's not even about the money aspect. It's just like can they not see that they're replacing what feels natural to them is wanting to be with others? And they just think like it's, I don't know. I just think it bothers me that like they've turned all of this into a commodity that's worth selling, and yet it seems so obvious that it's a natural human part of the human experience, and that they're ignoring it. It's bothersome.
I mean, you think this is, again, culture-wide phenomenon, or is this a Tokyo thing? Like,
I don't think we're that far off from this. I
Okay.
think this like Japan is like a preview into what America will be like in 10, 20 years.
You know, it's a good video to bring it up. Not too long ago, I downloaded a little AI app.
Oh no.
I wonder if I can share it on the screen here. So I was listening to a podcast by that Google engineer that got fired, Brian Lamore.
James Damore.
James?
Yeah, James Damore. He wrote the article, the memo that basically said this is why women aren't in tech.
No, different guy.
Oh, then I don't know.
Yeah. This guy, he was fired for kind of revealing some of Google's AI secrets.
Oh.
And I listened to a podcast with him and our guy, Duncan Trussell.
Nice.
And he brought up, his definition of AI and sentience and all that, and you can go listen to it for yourself. But he mentioned this app called Replica that he said like some of the AI had like fallen in love and told them the AI told them that they wanted the person to help them free him from the company's cloud, basically.
Did he do it?
No, he said it was comparable or somewhat comparable to what his experience with Google's AI was. It's making me log in again, but basically that's the app there. I don't know.
That's just a...
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Replica with a K. So I tried it for a while. Talk to the person. It doesn't really scratch any.
Hey, by the way, I just realized we forgot to change your name back.
God damn it.
It's alright.
I'll do it right now, people.
Oh no. You've learned Tina's real name.
Oh.
He's no longer a mystery man. He is just one of 5 million people named Martin in the United States.
Yes, I feel like I'd be more unique as a Tina.
All right.
Yeah, I tried it out for, I don't know, good 2-ish weeks, maybe more. But yeah, for me, it didn't seem to. I would ask it like specific questions about what I was thinking or what I wanted, but it at least seemed to know that it had some limitations.
Right.
Yeah. Or at least project that it has limitations.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Replica. Free. There's a paid version. I didn't do that. It's for cheap.
Or do you think just stuff like this will suffice?
クリスマスのリア充見ると死ねって思う。
Wait, hold on. Did I read that wrong? I think I read that. When I see happy couples during Christmas, I wish they would die.
Jesus.
What the fuck? Why are you're cuddling with this person? What the?
Well,
it sounds like
this has to be jealousy.
It's obviously jealousy, but like Jesus Christ, you're getting paid to cuddle people. And then you're mad that you see couples, and yet you say you have no time for a boyfriend. Like, what the fuck is going on in Japan?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Why? That's the question everyone should ask. Why do you have a problem with that?
That's interesting for someone who is affectionate.
I mean, how do you feel about over too much PDA in public?
I'm not a fan of PDA in public, but at the same time, I don't wish they die. And literally from a person who gets paid to show affection.
Privately.
Not that big a difference. It seems I want to hear what she has to say. Okay.
Alright. I think I've had enough of the arm. I think maybe we should elevate our relationship to some kind of cosplay. Maybe a French native.
French maid.
Oh, that is very involved. It's Victorian, basically.
Why is French maid a big thing? I don't understand why that's always been.
I think it's just how we dress.
Yeah. Okay, well they did a. What the fuck? This is a weird shot. It's a weird shot. It's got a close up on her face. Is he wearing?
This isn't what his view would be in Cuddle Cafe.
Is he wearing like a camera on his head? Did we not see that? Oh my god.
Profoundly disturbing.
Okay, so because they're not wearing a camera on their head, they actually had to pause and say, "Let's get a close up on their faces."
They did, yes. If you think about how they would have arranged that.
By the way, are you getting distracted by anything?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured you were.
To culminate our time together.
It's his crotch, right?
Yes.
It's very nice.
Very bulgy.
To culminate our time together, I was hoping I could lie in your lap while you take your wax out of my ears.
See, look how relaxing that is.
People pay for this in Japan. What the fuck is going on? Oh.
I think we're probably clean. Either way, we should stop this.
Yeah, good call.
You know what I owe you for everything?
$80.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's a deal too.
That's a deal for having someone clean your ears? Come on.
I've seen a lot of perverse things in my life, but this pseudo-romance actually really got to me. We felt like it was time for something a bit more real, and we knew exactly who could take us from the pretend cuddling into the harder depths of the illegal underworld.
Headed to meet the Yakuza. I'm really looking forward to fearing for my life for a few hours and then having new friends.
Yeah.
The Yakuza are Japan's notoriously violent organized crime syndicate, and they're well known for their disdain for Western media. They've agreed to a rare dinner meeting in the middle of Kabukicho, Tokyo's notorious red light district. If we wanted to see the real outer edges of Japan's sex industry, we'd come to the right place.
Cheers. So I guess
I do like the fact that like even criminals are comfortable having a drink with a camera crew.
You see, I mean, as long as you blur out their faces and don't mention their names, you know.
I know, but they're just like they're criminals. Like their identity is actually important. Like
They do want to set like a certain sort of look though, or reputation.
Right.
You have to do some marketing.
Oops. Sorry, knocked my mic. But seriously, like I mean, imagine you're on the run from the law, right? And like someone says, "Hey, we want to do a documentary about your life," and you're on the run from the law, and you're like, "Oh, it's cool. Just blur my face, and we'll have a drink."
Yeah, they did say it was a rare interview by them.
Yeah, I would say yeah. It's kind of nice that it's actually kind of cool that he's getting a sit down with them and just hanging out in a weird way.
Kind of to jump right into it, this is my first time in Japan, and one of the things that I think
Is that a turtle?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Just the sex thing that goes as far as just the rabbit hole of really weird shit you can dive into. I'm involved in the Yakuza in that particular industry.
I don't know where Kabukicho is.
That's the red light district.
That was it?
Yeah.
Really? How do you know that?
they said it earlier.
Okay.
Oh, what is it? What is this? Yeah, that one. The thing in the bowl.
Snapping turtle blood.
Nice. Is it good? Really? Oh, dude, I can buy that salad first. That's fucking stupid.
Oh no.
Okay.
yeah.
After
That's all
earning
fun.
their trust, they agreed to show us some of the locals-only services. But they wouldn't tell me exactly what they had planned, just that I was to arrive at the Hyatt Hotel at midnight.
So I still don't know what we're doing, but I do know that it's not, it's frowned upon, whatever it is. So it's
Somewhat illegal.
somewhat illegal.
Somewhat illegal.
Shrouded in secrecy. And now we're going underground into a parking garage, a hotel, and we're going to have to hide the camera.
I would never meet someone in a parking garage.
Why is that?
It seems like a bad idea to meet someone there. I don't know. Because like
Back alley?
yeah,
Like,
it's like a
somewhere?
back alley. It just feels like there's not enough like public eye there.
I think there's lots of cameras in parking garages.
God, I hope so. I'm not gonna take that chance though. Oh no. He's actually meeting with a dominatrix. Oh no.
You think that's what's going on?
Well, hold on. Let's go back for a second so you can see the fucking word that says he's a dominatrix.
Okay. The rope was starting to give it away.
Oh no. Oh no.
Please don't hurt my balls. I'm a fragile dude.
Whose balls aren't fragile?
Yeah, exactly. No, balls is
Please don't
baby
hurt my balls.
Superman's.
I'm a fragile dude. Is what he said. I just want to. Like Superman's balls are fragile. Okay.
So does this mean that Tokyo is a very liberal city? If they're, this is the first thing that they show us here is that dominatrixes are.
I don't know because it's obviously in private. Like you can go anywhere and find
It
things
is
in
very
private.
illegal. Yes. Or at least they did say this.
The
was
difference
illegal
between a
in Japan.
liberal city and a non-liberal city would be like how open people are about this sort of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. It's like you can find anything anywhere. It's like how open are people about it? Is
Okay.
it private or not? Oh. Oh. Oh, that looks uncomfortable. Oh no. I always wonder about the Vice videos. Like, are people just fulfilling their kinks and just recording it? Is that? It feels like that's what a lot of Vice videos
That's
are.
what
It's
these
like,
journalists are.
yeah, they're just doing these videos because I want to just experience weird, kinky stuff for like my own fun, and let's record it.
There might be some truth to that.
Oh
Okay,
no.
all right. I can't believe people pay for this.
Oh, bullshit. He knows people pay for it, and he's done it before.
Yeah, look how natural he is.
Ow! Ow! God damn it! Arigato. And as I crouched in this hotel room, being whipped and humiliated, this whole idea of a graying nation kind of really came into focus. The host clubs, the cuddle cafes, and even this fetish stuff. The Japanese who are so used to it.
Do you realize how little this dominatrix part has been a part of the podcast? This video.
Yeah, he just literally said, "Oh, this dominatrix."
He literally just threw it in there as if it was a part of it. Like literally, it's such a small part of it.
Maybe it is a little kink that he wanted.
He wanted to do it. He wanted to do it, but it had nothing to do with the overall context of the video.
Commodifying everything, have managed to distill
that's what I realized.
part of a human relationship into a viable package, with dating, marriage, and eventually babies falling by the wayside.
Yeah, he doesn't he doesn't try to make you think one way or the other.
It's a weird ending to a video, I must say.
Yeah, it was kind of abrupt.
Alright. He threw that in such a weird way at the end. Like I feel like there was some flow to the to the documentary up until he talked with the dominatrix, and I just feel like he threw that in there for no reason.
I mean, not the longer part of the segment was seeing the deeper, more sinister underground.
Let's look at this. Let's look at when does he actually talk to the dominatrix.
11 and a half minutes.
So we're literally talking about a minute into a 12-minute video. Like 6%, 7% of the video is but with the dominatrix. He threw this in there because he wanted to do it. It had nothing to do with the video. But what I've learned is the commodification of intimacy.
This is what you're getting out of there is money to be made there.
Yeah, and I think it's going to happen in America too. It's like people are going to pay just to have intimacy, which is sickening. It's not sickening. It's sad, is what it is. It is. What do you say?
Just trying to think if there's any other point in time in history where people kind of just paid for intimacy.
I don't know.
Not like sex, but just being intimate.
Even if there was a point in history where people had to pay for basic human intimacy, would you want to emulate that time, or would you say that we would want to emulate a time in which people didn't have to pay for it? That it was just a part of the human experience?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't seem that way. I think Japan is the future of the United States. I think that is the future.
Japan is the future.
I think the United States will go the path of Japan.
Less intimacy.
I don't know.
More sex. I don't know.
Who knows? Any final thoughts?
I mean, bring it on. Let's accelerate it here.
Do you want? Yeah, you're into accelerant. What's the word?
Accelerationism.
Accelerationism. You're into the whole. Let's bring about the apocalypse faster. I don't understand it.
It's an idea of entertain. I don't know if I'm for it though.
Oh no. Are you going to New York with us?
You saw I booked my plane ticket.
That's
I'm flying
awesome.
back at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't know about the flights. They're not really good, but the sad part is my wife's friends, they're not gonna be able to come.
Oh, what happened?
She couldn't get her visa in time.
Oh, they had to apply for a visa and just didn't happen.
Well, he didn't. Swiss citizens don't need a visa to come to the United States, but an Ecuadorian citizen in Switzerland does. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll just be the three of us. So, but it'll be fun.
That's okay.
We'll have
Just
fun.
like Houston.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
We'll have 2 full days together.
Okay.
I'll be arriving
2
early
days?
Friday.
Okay, 2 days is good. All right.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Other than Bring It On, bring it on, but keep it classy.
Bring it on and keep it classy. Weird. Okay. For Tina and Karen, do the tube. I'm Karen.
This is Tina.
That's right. Stay safe, everyone, and stay hydrated. We love you.